my name is Ryan. I'm one of the senior techs over here at VoltBike. Today we're going to be covering how to install the wedge style side view mirror on your VoltBike. For this you're going to need obviously your VoltBike mirror and all of its hardware and its contents. It should include the mirror itself, a little top cap on the outside of the mirror bracket, a small internal wedge clamp with an M3 hardware bolt and a nut on there, as well as a larger wedge bolt for larger inner diameter handlebars. Helps to have a flathead screwdriver on hand, and of course you're going to need a 3mm Allen key for the hardware itself. So you can use the one that comes with the kit. I'll probably be using my trusty T-lever here. Okay, so if you've bought a Kodiak, then the larger style is what you're going to want to use in order to clamp inside. If you've got a Yukon, Bravo, or Elegant, you're going to be using the smaller internal clamp size. And for the Mariner, Urban, or step-through Mariner, we've actually got to modify the smaller clamp because the internal diameter on the Mariner is a little bit larger, and unfortunately these don't perfectly fit. So for that we're just going to modify it with some electrical tape. Works really well. So first things first, you're going to want to pull out the bar cap that is on the side of that. You basically do so with a slotted screwdriver and just very gently just pop it into the back there, and it should just pop with a little bit of leverage right there, revealing that hole. Put that guy aside. We're not actually going to be using that, so you can actually keep that as a backup for your other side in case you crash. Next, we're going to stage the mirror itself. So we do so by removing this cap on the outside. If you've got fingernails, you can probably pop that off. If not, just stick your slotted screwdriver in there and get that out. And it's going to basically be mounting with the side in. So it comes flat in the box like that, so that will actually curve in like that, and the mount itself actually points forward, right? So you can see on both sides of that, we've got sort of a similar engagement. So if you really wanted to, one could potentially use it on the other side. It's a little funny. Most people prefer it on the left for cycling anyway, so that's why we've got the left specific one there. So you're going to start by removing the hardware from the wedge bolt system. So just basically spin off the nut so you can separate those and get the wedges off the bolt itself. You're then going to prepare the mount again, so don't be afraid to do a mock-up so you know which side the clamp is actually going to be going on. The wedge needs to be inside the handlebar, so make sure you stage that appropriately. And that will basically press fit. You can see the hexagon shape there and the hexagon shape there. Those line up, and you can basically just push fit those together. It doesn't take a lot of force, but you might need to give it a good little push to make sure it's seated. Next, we feed the bolt through like that. Take the opposite part of the wedge style bolt and put that inside there, and then simply reapply your nut. Now, as you can see, the inside of that little wedge bolt system will actually stop the nut from spinning if you hold it, so that when you spin this down, the other side of the nut doesn't spin. And basically it works by, as you tighten it, it spreads that wedge apart, which increases the diameter of it and cinches it to the inside of the bar. Now, again, with the Mariner, the external diameter of this only stretches out to about 16.4 millimeters, whereas this is a 17 millimeter internal diameter. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this wedge bolt in some electrical tape. Electrical tape is great because it both stretches and cushions, so you can get it to actually fit in there and it won't slip around too much. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So it also helps just to sort of tighten down the bolt a little bit so that it's just not flopping around on you. You don't want to tighten it so that you're actually increasing it, but just enough so that it's keeping it all together. Go ahead and grab our electrical tape. Any color you choose will suffice, as we're not going to see it, but just for the purposes of the video, I've chosen the VoltBike blue. Of course, it's a new roll. Okay. So just grab your wedge bolt here, right along the whole thing. Just wrap a few layers of electrical tape around it, just like that. A few layers will do. Now hopefully if I've done enough, I should just be able to pop this in there And once I tighten down that bolt, that wedge action will actually keep it nice and snug. So my 3mm Allen key, and just keep tightening until it decides to not flop around anymore. So you want it loose enough that you can adjust it, but you don't want it so loose that it's going to flop around and change position under vibration because, well, as we know, riding your e-bike can be quite bumpy. So make sure it's nice and snug, just like that. Again, if I want to, I can still adjust it, but it's snug enough that it's not going to move under vibration. And then from the cockpit of the bicycle, you can simply adjust your mirror from there to see where you like it. You take your end cap, pop that guy on there, and you're off to the races. Simple as that. Again, the tape application applies to the Mariner, Step 3 Mariner, and the Urban. On the Kodiak, you're going to use the large wedge, and on the Bravo, Elegant, and Yukon, you're going to use the smaller wedge without any tape. And that's it. Thanks for watching.